The funeral is over, but the dying isn't. 3 coffins. 3 men. Gone. Naomi stands between 2 younger women, her daughters-in-law, staring at fresh graves in foreign soil. Her husband. Her 2 sons. Dead. She has nothing left. No money. No future. No hope. Just 2 Moabite women who married into her family and now share her nightmare. This is Ruth Kaur, the story of a foreign widow who refused to let go, and in holding on, became the great-grandmother of kings. It started 10 years earlier with famine. Bethlehem, which ironically means house of bread, had no bread. Crops failed. Livestock died. Starvation crept through every home. So Elimelech made a choice: leave the promised land. Go to Moab. Moab. Israel's ancient enemy. The nation born from Lot's drunken incest with his daughter. The people who worshipped Chemosh, a god demanding child sacrifice. But there was food there. So Elimelech took his wife Naomi and their 2 sons, Mahlon and Chilion, and abandoned everything. They weren't supposed to stay. Just survive the famine, then return. But Elimelech died in Moab. Naomi was left widowed in enemy territory with 2 sons. The boys did what they had to. They married Moabite women. Orpah and Ruth. For 10 years they built lives. Made homes. Found normal in exile. Then both sons died. No explanation. No details. Just brutal reality. Mahlon and Chilion died, and Naomi was left without her husband and without her sons. 3 widows. No men. No protection. No inheritance. In the ancient world, this was a death sentence in slow motion. Naomi heard the famine in Bethlehem had ended. The Lord had come to the aid of his people. There was food again. Life again. So she decided to go back. Back to Judah. Back to her people. Back to die among her own. She looked at Orpah and Ruth. Yum. Moabite. They had futures here. Go back, Naomi said. Return to your mother's homes. May the Lord show you kindness as you have shown to the dead and to me. They wept. Protested. But Naomi insisted. I have no more sons to give you. Even if I married tonight and bore sons, would you wait for them to grow up? The logic was undeniable. Naomi had nothing to offer. Staying with her meant poverty. Foreignness. Death. Orpah kissed her goodbye and left. Went back to her people, her gods, her chance at life. Reasonable. Wise even. But Ruth refused. Don't urge me to leave you or to turn back from you. Naomi tried again. Explained the impossibility. The foolishness. Ruth wouldn't move. Where you go I will go, and where you stay I will stay. Your people will be my people and your God my God. Where you die I will die, and there I will be buried. May the Lord deal with me, be it ever so severely, if even death separates us. This wasn't sentiment. This was a vow. Ruth was choosing poverty. Choosing to be a foreigner. Choosing a God she barely knew. Choosing loyalty over survival. The choice made no sense. But sometimes God's greatest stories start with choices that look like death. Hit subscribe, this gets better before it makes sense. They arrived in Bethlehem at the beginning of barley harvest. The whole town stirred. Can this be Naomi? She looked nothing like the woman who left. 10 years. 3 deaths. Complete devastation. Don't call me Naomi, she said bitterly. Call me Mara, because the Almighty has made my life very bitter. I went away full, but the Lord has brought me back empty. Naomi means pleasant. Mara means bitter. She renamed herself after her pain. The women of Bethlehem whispered. Stared. But mostly, they stared at Ruth. The Moabite. The foreigner. The enemy who came back with their broken neighbor. Ruth had no status here. No family. No protection. Just her vow to a bitter old woman who claimed God had turned against her. They had no food. No money. Nothing. But it was harvest season. And Jewish law said the poor could glean, follow behind the harvesters and pick up leftover grain. It wasn't charity. It was survival. Backbreaking work for scraps. Ruth said to Naomi, let me go to the fields and pick up the leftover grain behind anyone in whose eyes I find favor. Favor. She was hoping someone would be kind to a foreign widow. Naomi said, Go ahead, my daughter. So Ruth went out. chose a field at random, started working. The text says it simply. As it turned out, she was working in a field belonging to Boaz, who was from the clan of Elimelech. As it turned out. Nothing in God's story is random. Ruth just walked into her destiny without knowing it. Boaz arrived from Bethlehem and greeted his harvesters. "The Lord be with you." "The Lord bless you," they replied. Then he noticed her. The foreign woman working in his field. "Who is that young woman?" he asked his foreman. "She is the Moabite who came back from Moab with Naomi. She asked permission to glean and gather. She's been working steadily from morning till now, except for a short rest. Working steadily. Not lazy. Not entitled. Just desperate and dignified." Boaz walked over to her. "My daughter, listen to me. Don't go and glean in another field. Stay here with the women who work for me. Watch the field where the men are harvesting, and follow along after the women. I have told the men not to lay a hand on you." Protection. In a world where foreign widows were vulnerable to assault, Boaz just gave her safety. "And whenever you are thirsty, go and get a drink from the water jars the men have filled." Provision. He was treating her like family, not a foreigner. Ruth fell at his feet. "Why have I found such favor in your eyes that you notice me, a foreigner?" Boaz replied. "I've been told all about what you have done for your mother-in-law since the death of your husband, how you left your father and mother and your homeland and came to live with a people you did not know before. May the Lord repay you for what you have done. May you be richly rewarded by the Lord, the God of Israel, under whose wings you have come to take refuge." Her loyalty was already famous. And Boaz saw what others missed. This Moabite woman had more faith than most Israelites. Ruth came home that evening with an ephah of barley, about 30 pounds. Impossible for a gleaner. Naomi's eyes widened. "What did you glean today? Blessed be the man who took notice of you." "The man's name is Boaz," Ruth said. Naomi's bitter face changed. "The Lord bless him. He has not stopped showing kindness to the living and the dead. That man is our close relative. He is one of our kinsman redeemers." Kinsman redeemer. Hebrew, goel. A family member with the right, and responsibility, to buy back lost property, marry a widow, restore a family line. This wasn't romance. This was ancient Israel's safety net for widows. And Boaz qualified. Naomi's mind started working. There was a way out of this death sentence. A way to restore what was lost. One night Naomi said to Ruth, "My daughter, I must find a home for you, where you will be well provided for." The plan was bold. Risky. But necessary. "Tonight Boaz will be winnowing barley on the threshing floor. Wash, put on perfume, and get dressed. Go down to the threshing floor, but don't let him know you're there until he has finished eating and drinking. When he lies down, note the place. Then go and uncover his feet and lie down. He will tell you what to do." This sounds scandalous. But it wasn't seduction. It was proposal. By uncovering his feet and lying there, Ruth was asking Boaz to spread his covering over her, a cultural symbol for marriage. She was asking him to be her kinsman redeemer. Ruth said, "I will do whatever you say." Another vow. Another impossible choice. Another step toward a destiny she couldn't see. Ruth did exactly as Naomi instructed. At midnight Boaz woke. He felt someone at his feet. "Who are you?" he asked. "I am your servant Ruth. Spread the corner of your garment over me, since you are a kinsman redeemer." She was asking him to marry her. To redeem her family line. Boaz's response was immediate. "The Lord bless you, my daughter. This kindness is greater than that which you showed earlier. You have not run after the younger men, whether rich or poor." He was older. She could have chosen differently. But she chose loyalty again. "And now, my daughter, don't be afraid. I will do for you all you ask. All the people of my town know that you are a woman of noble character." But there was a problem. Another relative was closer in line. He had first right to redeem. Boaz went to the city gate and settled it legally. The other relative declined. So Boaz publicly declared, "I have acquired Ruth the Moabite as my wife, to maintain the name of the dead with his property." Ruth married Boaz. The foreigner became family. She bore a son. Obed. Obed fathered Jesse. Jesse fathered David. King David. And from David's line came Jesus, the ultimate kinsman redeemer who spread his covering over all humanity. Ruth had no idea. She just chose loyalty. Chose to stay. Chose to trust a God she barely knew. And God wrote her into the bloodline of the Messiah. The Moabite. The foreigner. The widow who refused to leave. This is Ruth core. Where loyalty becomes legacy. Where faithfulness becomes royalty. Where a foreign widow becomes the great-grandmother of kings. If this story touched you, type Amen, or drop a prayer in the comments. Let's honor the God who redeems the broken and elevates the faithful.